Most producers think that if they add more sounds to the track, it will make it sound full, but that's usually why your track sounds messy and unclear. There is a lot of minimal music out there that sounds full, and once you learn how to do it, you won't stop hearing it everywhere. And these techniques apply for whatever music you make. Listen, almost every track I get sent for feedback has the exact same issues, even mine when I started producing. The problem isn't with your sound selection, it's with your sound placement. Just listen to this. So, technique number 1. If your bass feels like it's missing something, it's not because it's too quiet, it's usually because it doesn't have enough mid-frequencies. I noticed this pattern with one of my clients because the first few tracks he sent me I could not hear the bass properly on the headphones, but since we fixed this, he's now playing it in big festivals and one of his tracks even played on BBC Radio.
Live. A for Adam is the DJ and the track is called The Feeling. Enjoy!
So in this instance, I have this bass guitar. But just like this, it's not exciting. So I wanted to add first of all some distortion to make it sound full. So I started by adding a little bit of an amp. I like to use this plugin because I can move the microphone, as you can see here, away from the center. Look at it. Just moving it a little bit further away, it makes it sound a little bit wider. This resonance thing is basically cutting the low frequencies, and this LFO is moving the frequencies up and down from left and right, so it kind of sounds wide. I also wanted to just make sure that there are no low frequencies here because it's a wide sound, so I added a little bit of a filter. Then on the bass guitar I added a little bit of reverb. It's really, really small. Think about a bass guitar that is playing in a studio, in a room. It's gonna have a little bit of reverb around it. It's in a space, it's not completely dry. But this wasn't enough, so I added another layer. It's just serum with a sine wave and a little bit of tube distortion from here. This is what I call a fat bass. So technique number 1 is lack of energy in your bass. And that leads me to technique number 2, which is why percussions sometimes feel flat. Your percussions can feel so much bigger if you're utilizing the space around them. Just think about a drummer playing in a concert, right? The snare is here, the hat is there, right? They're not exactly in the same place. So this is what we're gonna do. Let's start by panning the hat just a little bit to the left. Tiny bit like that. Nice. The second thing that we need to do is really simple, and that's add a slightly contrasting reverb. Now the bottom one is the reverb on the hat. As you can see, the size is slightly bigger, it has a little bit more decay, and it's also brighter because the high dump is lower. That's like an EQ that is cutting the high frequencies, where the low dump is cutting the low frequencies. So technique number 2 is add a tad of reverb on your percussions. That leads me to technique number 3, which is why a track is lacking density. So when a track feels thin, I see most producers wanting to add more layers to make it sound full. But is that really your best option to make things bigger? Sometimes it is, but always try this first. So I have here a really simple sound I made in Serum. In this instant, I use Saturn because it sounded the best, but you can use any saturator you like. So first of all, I split it into 3 bands, and I just cut all the low frequencies from the first one. On the second one, I increased the volume a little bit. I also increased this dynamic knob, which is basically a compression. If it's going to the right, where you have all of these like little transient thingies, that's basically squeezing the sound and it's sounding more powerful, so it's more consistent over time. And in the high, we have a similar thing going on. If we did the same thing with raw, I will actually take this all the way down, so we don't hear anything in the low frequencies. I'm gonna add a little bit amount on the mids. Similar result, but the next thing is really what helps to bring it up to life. So let's take an echo. As it is, it's gonna sound like a big mess. First of all, I changed it to notes from dotted, and I changed this to 16th. Let's reduce the feedback, let's reduce the dry wet, change it to ping pong, and most importantly, the filter. Sounds so much lively, just adding a little bit of reverb, changing it to ping pong, the filter so it's only on a certain frequency range, and also adding a little bit of drive. So if this helped you hear your tracks a little bit differently, I actually have an entire course breaking down everything you need to produce a professional quality track into systems. So you know exactly what happens at every step of producing your track, and you can focus on your creativity instead of trying to figure out what's happening next. But I also have more videos on my channel breaking down this exact way of thinking. So in the next video, I'm going into the production process of my latest release, Press Play.